Alright guys, today we're going to be doing I guess you would call it a move-in cleaning. A customer just bought this mobile home and there are 3 bedrooms to clean and a little bit of a haul. It's not much, you'll see in just a second. The carpets are in pretty good shape. There's the normal wear patterns through the doorways, but as far as I can tell, there's no staining or anything like that. So there's the master bedroom here. There's this small portion of the hall right here. There is this bedroom. And this bedroom. You can see right here, there's some wear on the carpet. It's not terrible, but I would say this bedroom and the other bedroom are fairly equal in terms of how soiled they are. So what we're gonna do is, we spent a considerable amount of time yesterday cleaning the waste tank to be sure that it was completely dirt free. So we're gonna take one of these rooms and we're gonna use the Challenger. We're gonna pre-spray it, we're gonna use the Challenger on it, and then when we're done, we're gonna hot water extract it to see just how much soil is remaining in the carpet after the low moisture cleaning. And then on the next bedroom, we're gonna steam clean it. And then after we're done, I'm gonna take a new pad, put it on the Challenger and go over it again to see how much soil that the pad picks up after steam cleaning. So it should be interesting because I'm really anxious to start using the Challenger more. And I really wanna see just for myself how much soil it's gonna pick up and just how good of a job it's gonna do. So I got Rollo outside getting set up and we'll be back in a minute. We're done vacuuming. Well, I should say Rollo's done vacuuming. But I'm gonna be pre-spraying this room and I'm using the Davies, or no, it's Orbit Natural that came with the Challenger. And this is something I've only used that one other time on the commercial job that I did. So I think this would be a good test to see how it works. I've given the pre-spray about 7 or 8 minutes dwell time, and I'm going to use this pad. So the pad's been used, I think twice. It's got a little bit of a dirt ring in there. It's not too bad. It'll be pretty easy to see any of the new dirt I pick up versus this older stuff. So there's what we picked up just in this room that didn't really appear to be all that dirty. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hot water extract that room and see what we can get out. Into a little bit of a problem. The one room that we just cleaned, we went to empty the water, and yesterday when we cleaned the waste tank, as I said earlier, we cleaned it really good, and I use a water hose to discharge the water from the waste tank. It's really, really slow, but to clean the waste tank out, what I do is I put a piece of pipe on there, a 2-inch pipe, so it drains really, really fast, so we don't have to wait, 20 minutes for it to drain out with the water hose. Well, because we cleaned it out with the pipe on there instead of the water hose, the water level in the tank is so low right now, we can't get any to drain out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on this room. I'm gonna pre-spray it with the Orbit Natural, and I'm gonna use the Challenger on it, and then I'll hot water extract it. And hopefully there'll be enough water in the waste tank to see what the water looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm probably not gonna film this room being cleaned, but when we come back, we'll see if we got enough water in the waste tank to show you what was in it. Before I steam clean this room, I just wanted to show you what this pad picked up out of here. As I said earlier, these carpets were not all that dirty, and this is a new side of the pad. It's not the same side that I use in the other room. So I'm gonna go ahead and steam clean this room, and then hopefully we can go check the water and see what additional soil we pulled out. Move the hose back a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pre-spray this room and steam clean it. I'm gonna be pre-spraying this room with Grime Release Pro. It's pretty much my go-to pre-spray for most hot water extraction jobs. It doesn't need to be boosted usually, except for the bad ones. And I don't know, it just works good. But one of the things I hadn't really talked about my intentions on switching to a low moisture system is, look, you can see how this pre-spray is just coming out of here. It's being atomized, it's getting in the air, I'm breathing it. And while Grime Release Pro is a great pre-spray, it has some pretty bad stuff in it. And job after job, you're breathing this stuff in, and it can't be good. It can't be good long term. And I've been doing carpet cleaning for about 20 years, not full time. I've only been full time since about 2012. But when you consider how much bad things I breathed in over the years, it's a real concern. So with low moisture, I don't think I'm going to need to go with these type of bad pre-sprays. And I say bad, I just mean potentially cancer-causing pre-sprays and things like that. And one of the issues that I have now, and I've noticed it over the last probably year or so, I think I'm becoming very chemical sensitive, which would seem to make sense, having used all these pre-sprays and chemicals over the years. But when I walk into somewhere, a good example is Harbor Freight. You walk in Harbor Freight and you just kind of bombarded with that smell of like chemical rubber type smell. And I almost can't go in the store anymore because of that. And there's a few other places I've been where the smells just hit you. And it's almost like I'm having almost like a panic attack when I smell these smells. So I'm really blaming using these chemicals over the years for that. And I really would like to get away from it. Alright guys, here is the new pad that I'm going to use on the room that I just hot water extracted. And by the way, I had to use tip cleaners because my jet clogged up, or one of my jets on my wine, halfway during the cleaning. So there you go. After a good hot water extraction, that's still the soil that was left on here. Now, is that equivalent to, say, the dirty water that we got out after hot water extracting it after we had OP cleaned it? I don't know. But if you think that hot water extraction is removing all the dirt, and all the soil. It's just really not. And I didn't really do this to prove anything. You know, I didn't do it to start an argument. I just wanted to do my own testing to see how much difference there is in the soil removal between hot water extraction and OP cleaning. So, you know, when you saw that water coming out of the waste tank, it was not that typical black, either dark brown or real black water that you normally get out. It was not perfectly clean, but it really wasn't that dark. And when you look at this and being a brand new pad, you know that this pulled a fair amount more soil out of this carpet. So I really just want to do the test for myself and put up the video and, you know, let you see kind of a real world type comparison. The only thing we have left to do is this one little section of carpeted hall, and I'm just going to strictly VLM it and see what it looks like, and I'm going to use the clean side of the pad. All right, so here's the amount of soil that came out of that little hallway. Pretty crazy, huh? I really got to do a better job of centering my gliders. Seems like I'm getting worse and worse rather than better and better. But yeah, this tiny hallway, all that. So far I'm really liking the Challenger. I definitely do see it replacing, at the very least, most of my hot water extraction. All right, I want to show you how I have everything set up. I did make a video about this right here, the slider, the truck bed slider, because I used to keep my ozone equipment back here. Luckily, one of the property management companies that I do a lot of work for, they have a vacant office where they let me keep the bulk of my ozone equipment there. And it's kind of a more centralized location to most of the properties that I service for odor removal. So I don't need to pack a bunch of equipment with me. What I do is I just keep a few ozone machines at home for jobs when it's inconvenient to go and pick up my equipment at their complex. But it really leaves the bed slider free for other things. Now, I've been keeping my tile spinner in here, and I'm gonna have to put it back in the trailer because I'm gonna need all this room for a vacuum cleaner. I've got my buckets. I'm gonna need a couple more bins and room for chemicals. But it's gonna be nice to be able to do VLM out the back of my truck. And I think this setup is gonna do really good. I've been carrying the Challenger around right here. Basically, I added a piece of wood and some L brackets to try to keep the Challenger you know, off to one side. And I haven't had any problems with it sliding or anything like that, mainly because you can't see it, but underneath the green carpet up there, I have some of these L brackets that are used to hold this side on, and they keep it from sliding back. So if there's any problems, I'll work up some kind of rig for it, but I think this is going to work out good. and it'll keep me from having to bring the trailer every time I do a job, because the trailer has its advantages and its disadvantages. But you know, I still like it better than a van, because if you've ever been in a carpet cleaning van in the summertime, you'll know what I'm talking about. You know, the smell is absolutely horrendous. But at the same time, it's hard to get the trailer in and out of places sometimes. You'll notice right here, we had to disconnect the trailer to be able to access the machine in the back. But that won't be an issue unless I'm doing carpet and tile and grout somewhere. So I don't know, I'm gonna see how it's gonna work out, but I think this is gonna be just fine to have it set up like this. All right, well, I appreciate you watching. I hope you found the video informative. If you were thinking about VLM versus hot water extraction, or thinking about making a switch or something like that, and we'll see you in the next video.